Hello and welcome to another game of Dota 2. Hopefully I have fixed the strange reverb I had in my last attempt. Seems like I don't know where that came from. I think I had two recordings of my microphone on my software for some strange reason. I think technology doesn't like me very much. Either way, just a nice little, I think it's around an 8.5k game. We've got Excalibur, we've got Magical, we've got Lodine. I've not actually ever heard of him before, but he seems to be a pro. Hanskin apparently he's in the game. Oh yeah, sometimes it's kind of hard to say. I mean, he looks important, he's got a bold name. I don't know off the top of my head who it is though. Oh well, either way, we have, for the Dire, Spectre Bane against Tusk Venomancer in the top lane. It's not good if I can't remember what Venomancer scored already. Oh well, I'm doing this during the day this time. Hopefully my brain holds together for the end of it. Mid lane we've got a Storm into a Void Spirit, and bottom lane we have Doom Rubik into Arc Warden Crystal Maiden, and it looks like it put me on free camera. It looks like the Arc Warden, something's happening on this ring spot and nothing else is happening anywhere else. So, will admit I don't fully understand Arc Warden's abilities. I understand roughly what they do, but the details of how exactly Flux works is completely beyond me because I haven't read that tooltip in at least a year, and I never see it at my rank. Either way, it looks like it should be an even split of bounties. Then who should I focus on for the start of the game? I'm not sure what tone to take in these casts. Looks like Doom is going to look to block. No, he's going to look to aggressively devour a creep and then TP out. I would have assumed perhaps he was looking to block the creeps to force him under tower, because there's no reason he couldn't have done that from here, but he decided the harass was simply not worth it.
Denied.
No, I'm never sure quite what to focus on in these games. Obviously mid lane is always interesting, and I'm never sure what tone to take. I don't know if I should, be analytical, try and attempt to leverage my poor sense of humour for, I don't know, I guess I'll just say things, try and see what comes naturally, because and it's natural that this mid lane is going to be quite an interesting one. Look at that, transitions. No, Storm into Void's an interesting matchup. Both have pretty solid damage and burst potential, and both have they don't have the biggest pools of HP. What are the starting items we see? Both have roughly about the same, exactly the same amount of regen, in fact, for the moment. Is he going for a bottle? I don't know how to easily check the curve, but it looks like we might be seeing a first blood. We do have an Aether Remnant. It does land, and he finds the first blood in the mid lane.
The first celestial rays.
Yeah, definitely probably vaguely favouring the Void Spirit, because he does have some crowd control and some innate damage block on top of pretty similar damage output. But I think overall it favours the Storm, since he can certainly use his skills more easily to both harass and CS at the same time. But I don't know, I'm not a mid lane player. It's not a matchup I'm too confident with. It looks like Storm does find level 3. Big power spike. Suddenly the matchup swifts immediately in the favour of the Storm Spirit. With the, what's it called? Vortex combo. That's the one. Meanwhile, let's have a look up top. There was a kill here just a moment ago. I believe the Bane went down. Spectre not having a very good time. High pressure lane this one. Venomancer is just very unpleasant to lane against, just permanent damage. Look, right click, and now you're getting poison stung. And Tusk, tag team is terrifying, and he has ice shards. You get sharded in, as we might see here with the Bane. You add, you play these two together, and there's just a huge amount of damage, as we can see. I don't know if it applies to the Plague Wards. If it does, this is a truly disgusting combo. However, I am surprised the Spectre got caught there, given that Spectre can actually escape ice shards with dagger, whereas Bane can't, which is why the Tusk went for the Bane. And yet the Spectre decides to die for his support's sake. It seems unfortunate. It seems very unfortunate. Definitely a very, very hard safe lane for the Dire, but mid again it looks like the Fairy Fire is being popped. There's a commitment forward from the Void Spirit, but nothing will come of it just yet. A lot of regen being traded. Now the Bane has worked his way down. He's here for the 4 minutes runes. Rubik is also here, but it looks like Rubik may have committed slightly too hard. Storm out of mana, however. It's a shame there's no 6 on this Void Spirit, otherwise it'd be a very good time for the kill. Tusk also rotates down, finds the Arcane Rune. So neither mid laner will be getting it, which absolutely favours the... No, the Void Spirit also has a bottle. I don't know. I don't think that favours anyone really. Meanwhile, down bottom, lane I've not really looked at. Oh, wasn't very smooth camera movement, that one, was it? But you know, it's fine. We have Rubik trying to farm the pull, CM trying to stop him, just keep the equilibrium under tower. Aquaman definitely getting a lot out of his lane, and a very good hero to have good start on. Faster you get your ultimate, faster his, and you also get the Midas, which I assume he's going. Yep. The faster you get those, the faster you just start to really ramp up and accelerate. CM taken down by the Doom, but I think on some level you're pretty okay with that as a support. You know, you're distracting both the entire offlane, and your carry is just getting complete free farm and solo XP, especially on someone who has such a big power spike at 6. In terms of the general drafts, I can't remember who wins this game, so that's always helpful. Looks like there will be a rotation up top, but I think Snowball save for the moment might not be enough. Looks like Venomancer will go down here. Does pop 2 Fairy Fires to try and kill the Spectre, but Spectre sticks back up. And the Doom dies with the assistance of the Arc Warden, who... I didn't catch it, whatever. In terms of the general draft, I do like the Bane here. It's quite nice against the Storm if you can actually, you know, survive on the backlines and not get interrupted with the Fiend's Grip. It's good to set up for everything, and Storm is a hero who relies on its mobility, and you can sort of just say no to that. Whereas the Radiant doesn't quite have the same effect for the Void Spirit, but if they do find an initiation with one of their small pieces of crowd control, they might be able to follow up, just as we're seeing here. Snowball forward onto the Rubik. Will they chase under tower? No. Both the Void and the Rubik just barely get away with their lives there. Definitely a lot of damage early on from the support duo of the Radiant. Tusk very good at setting up kills and also saving from combos. With the Snowball, he can just pull people in if they're gripped or otherwise not in a great shape. CM getting shattered. A lot of damage coming out from those 3 supports. You have the Brain Sap, you have just three nukes at minimum. Storm makes the rotation bottom on the respawn, or as he comes out of Fountain. Finds the Doom very quickly. Puts the combo together, is low on mana, almost out of health. Jump forward from the Void, will find the Doom. Can they take it any further? Snowball forward onto the Rubik, they definitely want him. Does he have Ice Shards? He does not, has a stick to recharge, and Arc Warden finds him. Very nice. Get double kill on the Arc Warden, starting to really accelerate now. Hero that has his Midas now, and as soon as he gets to that and has Tempest double off cooldown, he can just start double Midasing. Accelerating. By comparison, Spectre is getting pressured very hard It's being forced to TP out and might just make it out. Does. But even so, it's a major victory, and they'll almost certainly get this tier 1 tower off the back of it. Rubik found as well. Haunt back in from the Spectre, however, should find the Venomancer. And they may just hang on to this tower as the mid laner comes in as well.
Radiant's courier is dead. Just following orders.
Even so, if they do manage to get any more out of this,
Dire's middle tower is
it seems like they will back off for now on the Dire side. Hard to say who really came out ahead in that skirmish. I think the Radiant, to some extent, they forced out Haunt and the Spectre TP. So now, and they also forced a pretty large rotation, I think 4 people to come towards top. Frees up a lot of the map for the rest of them. But it does look like Tusk has thoroughly overstayed his welcome. Is caught up by the 8th Remnant, but the arrival of Venomancer will dissuade them from going any further. Seems like Bane will die here. Jump forward from the Storm. Catches the Void Spirit, but Doom comes in. Big counter to the Storm, but the CM ult manages to find one. Will find a second. No, it's cancelled out, but a Frost Nova will pick up the Doom. Spectre might just fall, and he does. Storm managing just to survive the tick damage on the Doom as it runs out there.
Nothing good happening to Radiant's middle
Massive
tower.
massive victory for the Radiant
Tower
there.
has some radiant shape
Finding
weapons.
all 3 cores. And I believe the Bane as well. And losing no one. Doom is now also down for about 140 seconds. Giving the Radiant a huge window of time in which to take another fight. Down bottom,
Tower has some
looks
radiant
like
shape weapons.
the Bane will be going down. Arc Warden starting to capitalise on his ability to farm and general
Dire's
strength
top
of the
tower
hero.
is under attack.
Having 2 of you that do full damage is
Bid farewell
pretty
to
impressive.
Dire's top
Pretty big DPS increase. Lets you solo kill a lot of heroes if you're good at it.
Radiant
If you're
are
not, you tend to
ready.
just sort of misclick a bunch, walk around and die. That's my experience. No, I think if the Radiant can take this game pretty... The Radiant? No, the Dire. I think if the Dire can take this game late enough for the Spectre to really come online and get 2 or 3 items. Surprising that the Arc Warden only just got his Midas. I know for a fact he had it bought before then, but some strange courier nonsense was probably happening as more kills are claimed. Fiend's Grip onto the Arc Warden, however, should result in his death. I don't believe there are any TPs to come save him. And Bane will snipe the kill with the Brain Sap. Feels he needs to secure the kill just in case some shenanigans happen. But while they are doing that, they sacrifice their mid tower. There's no way they're holding this. Fade Bolt will buy no time at all, and a TP in from the Void Spirit. Haunt in as well. CM ult will not be cancelled. Will be cancelled by the CM. Jump forward by the Void Spirit. The CM is found, but the Warrior Punch onto the Rubik. Storm finally jumps in and catches the mid laner. Spectre looking for the Venomancer. 8th Remnant out, catches the Venomancer. One more should do it. He's brought down. Storm quickly follows. Big fight. But Arc Warden has come in, and they've spent their beans already. Not much left to bring him down. But they do actually manage to find him with the Fade Bolt Brain Sap combination, but now they have to deal with his clone and then finish off the Tusk. Only a few more seconds left until the clone runs out, and then they only have to kill the Tusk, and they do have the Fade Bolt up. No mana for the Brain Sap, but they do have a stick, and it might just be enough, but the TP out is just in time. The slow was a bit too much for the Bane to get vision in time, but immediately back into the action as soon as the Storm respawns. Makes the TP towards bottom and jumps the Doom, but he actually doesn't manage to get away with the TP. It actually finishes up there, but he ticks out at the very last second to a bit of the last possible part of damage from the Storm. Either way, both teams able to put up one hell of a fight in this game. And late game, Storm is going to be forced to itemize the Lincolns at minimum. He has 2 ultimates who really mess him up. There's the Doom and the Fiend's Grip. both of which very dangerous. And as a result, being forced to itemize the Lincolns will slow down his progression to other items, or if he doesn't decide to go it, he will be at risk for quite a while in this game. Both are BKB piercing. And I don't know exactly how the Spectre into Arc Warden matchup goes, however I imagine both are known to be late game carries. They're going to be pretty even with about the same amount of farm. Spectre excelling at staying alive and being tanky and killing that way, whereas Arc Warden excels at doing damage, so kind of diametrically opposed carries. And up top it seems like another Faint Grip onto the Arc Warden will slow him down, which is exactly what the Dire need to try and catch the back up into this game. They cannot allow this hero to just accelerate away from their Spectre. They need to keep some degree of parity in this game if they want any chance, but that movement will be matched out by a rotation onto the Doom, and they will find the Rubik and then buy one get one free deal. Actually, he manages to steal the Ball Lightning and jumps away with a max distance jump at the very last second. Seems like the deal ran out just before they could claim it. And then he takes out the Venom Poison, so I am full of nonsense. It was certainly a valiant attempt from the Rubik, to be fair. Very, very nice play. Quick fingers. In terms of the mid laners, I certainly think the Dire have a way of shutting down this Storm if they can really get to that point. However, and the Radiant don't have as much against the Void. But the Storm seems to be having a hell of a start. So they may never get to the point where they can really deal with the Radiant's lineup, and that is, I think, the biggest win condition for the Radiant. The sheer ability to never let the other team get online. Spectre does need this Radiance. It's going to be difficult to farm it. Spectre, having already turned up to a few fights, slowed down the farming speed, died a few times. Whereas Arc Warden already has 2 farming items and is steaming forward towards a third, naturally farms a lot faster than the Spectre, at least pre-Radiance.
A scan from Radiant.
So there will be this quite dangerous timing when the Arc Warden gets that Maelstrom. Storm has his Orchid, maybe when he gets the BKB, where this will be a very hard fight for the Dire to take, and they may have to just dodge until they're really online, maybe sack some towers off. But if they can take this into the late mid-game, where their carry comes online, the Doom becomes more of a threat, picks up some more auras, the supports pick up some items. I think it's a pretty good game for the Dire. Certainly, a lot of their team are susceptible to Haunt. TM, for example, Veno will go down reasonably easy, but Venomonster is a very powerful teamfight hero that'll very dangerous to fight into. If it gets on you, you don't really want to fight. It just does so much damage. Speaking of team fights, it looks like the Roche will be taken before it can be interrupted. Haunt in to attempt to steal it, but doesn't quite work as the Dire commit forward. Will they manage to find the Arc Warden? No. Mecha up gets him out of immediate danger. Veno ult goes down on, but only catches the Void, who immediately dies off the back of it. Bane will certainly go down off the back here to a quick Walrus Punch and a jump forward from Storm, who has an Aegis, does not have to worry at all about overcommitting, especially since only the Spectre is left now. Only a 2k gold swing off the back of that fight, but very decisive one. Unfortunately, they just didn't quite manage to get the perfect initiation. The Doom wasn't actually used that fight. They never really found a way in. They need to kill someone very quickly on this Dire side, because otherwise, if they let all the ults go off, they've let the Radiant play how they want to in these fights. It's damning. There's very little they can really do. But at the same time, it's quite hard for the Dire to take fights they want, because they have this Arc Warden who is constantly split pushing at no threat to himself. very annoying when carries can do this. The TBs, the Nagas, the Arc Wardens, who not only apply constant split push pressure, but they do it without actually ever being at the risk of dying due to illusions or the like. And so they always have to have someone on the Dire on the lookout for these split pushes and dealing with these pushes in lane, because they can't simply give away objectives.
The Dire's middle tower is under attack.
But it looks like they might be giving away mid tower. Quick Nightmare save on the Snowball, but a Walrus Punch will just does too much damage, and the Orchid will almost certainly find the Bane as well. Both supports falling due to some pretty aggressive poking from the Venomancer and his wards. And it's looking like a very, very difficult time
And over here, Radiant's top tower.
for the Dire. I think that all their eggs are in the Spectre basket, but Spectre is 3k behind the Arc Warden.
Is Dire going to let that middle tower fall? Dire don't look
Really
too
had to have a
scared
bit of a
of
better
Radiant's
lane
top tower. Dire just
in order to have, in order to dissuade the sheer snowball of the Radiant lineup this game. Trying to be very analytical in this one. I don't really know what else to say about it.
That middle tower full?
Not much entertaining shit happening. Just
Look at Dire's
just the
bottom tower
Dire
next.
kind of getting a bit outplayed,
Radiant's
out-rotated
top
for
tower
sure.
is under attack.
They've yet to even take a tower. Void Spirit maybe trying to amend that by applying a bit of split push, but now they're running at him.
Dire don't
Will
look
he
too
get
scared of
caught?
Radiant's top
Let's
tower. Radiant
have
have
a
scanning
zoom.
frames. Look at
I
Dire's
know where he
bottom
is,
tower
but,
next.
but Tusk is found by the Aether Remnant. Just decides to take the bounty and leave. Bane in the middle of the river
Dire's bottom tower
does
is
not
under
belong
attack.
there at all.
Own it.
Should not be wetting his feet,
This'll come in handy.
and he is swiftly punished for it.
Stupendous.
Doom may be soon to follow, but the Ice Shards doesn't quite land. CM is there, has the ult, and the Walrus Punch. Now gets the root, slow from the Venomancer. Yeah, Doom isn't going anywhere.
Own it.
I didn't really think about it, but the sheer amount of slow from this team is actually disgusting. You have Venomancer, who is just a great big ball of slow. You have
Over here.
Tusk, and then you have the CM. A lot of cold on this team as well. It's a bit chilly.
Is Dire going to let that middle tower fall?
Yeah, I can't think of any more ice puns.
And over here, Radiant's
I didn't
top
really think of
tower.
any to start with actually,
Dire's
but
bottom tower is under attack.
does look like Doom is going to try and break the ice. New White Final One, but instead will be broken. Storm just doing far too much damage, and the nukes from the supports are quite significant. Does Tusk have anything? He does have a medallion, which is what's really amping up that Walrus Punch.
About to fall.
And my god, this Arc Warden is just accelerating. He has his Maelstrom finished up and his Boots of Travel. Don't know what he's going for next. Really could be anything. Could be going Bloodthorn. Pretty good item this game. Good against at least 4 of the heroes if you can catch him before he uses the titular ability. Whereas Tusk is just playing very in-your-face Dota. He just does not care. He's a tanky boy. He's not going to die. And if he does, you can say it's space created. Nightmare on the Tusk, just so they can both run away. Will he get the TP out in time? Yes, he will. Very long Nightmare. Such an annoying ability. Really just takes someone out of the fight. Especially frustrating for Blink initiators who, oh, I'm going to blink in and call you or whatever that one does, and then, oh, actually, I'm going to have a nab. But a slow siege of this mid tower from the Arc Warden and the supports while the Storm heads towards the top tower. They certainly can't deal with 2 lanes of pressure at once.
Dire's
And
top
if we're
tower
talking
is
about
in
pressure
range.
and slow sieging, the War of Warding, the Ward War,
Dire's top tower is under attack.
taking on a bit of a new meaning in this game. with a constant battle of plague
Dire's top
lords.
tower has fallen.
Looks like Bane is going to die again. Don't see much escape from this one. Will Rubik also be caught? Snowball does find him. Walrus Punch brings him down, and a quick
Dominating.
Venomous Gale to finish him off. Spectre now farming the opponent's jungle to desperately try and scrape up some gold.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Because sitting in your
Dire's middle
base
tower didn't last
just
long.
guarantees a loss, whereas doing something a bit crazy like this, yeah, it just means that you're most likely going to lose instead of definitely, which is... I'll take those odds. I'll take a maybe instead of a for certain. But while Spectre is farming, they are taking racks.
Radiant are scanning for
Would be nice at least to see the Dire find a single tower, but Doom once again attempts to initiate and utterly fails. Fiend's Grip goes out but is cancelled. Spectre gets melted after she haunts in. Buyback, but no haunt. Rubik manages to ball lightning away, but unfortunately not particularly helpful. Spectre comes in again. Spectre is however completely alone. Deserted by her friends, not that they have much choice being dead. But hey, at least they've managed to briefly keep their racks alive, prolong the sad existence of their racks. Rubik tries to ball lightning in, realises he's not Storm, doesn't have the 25 talent, and dies. That's all she wrote. They immediately go for tier 4s.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Void Spirit, you know, just giving Tusk a bit of a love tap.
Is Dire going to let that middle tower fall?
And yeah, this game is definitely over. Looks like the Radiant will win. It's just a matter
Dire's
of
middle tower didn't last long.
not the fastest tower takers, given that they don't have all their items yet. So
Dire's middle tower didn't last long.
yeah, that's that.
Dire's
I
ancient is coming down.
don't have much to say about that game. Just they kind of dominated the mid game before all the counters came in line. Last minute Doom and a pull into the fountain. Teach that Venno to be less of a cheeky
Dire's
bastard.
courier is so dead. Impressive enough.
And Doom decides to run in and feed again, but that's par for the course at this point.